But I, for one, am really excited to see a movie about someone that I want to be exactly like when I grow up. I can't wait. I brought my notepad. Ah, ooh, your turn. I'm Oliver the Ricketts.
I'm Jeremy Kessler.
I am Brittany.
And we're about to go see The Joker. We've already gone into what we expect from this movie. In fact, there's a whole video about it.
You can watch it by clicking one of these corners. We always get it wrong, so I'm not going to pretend like I know.
But that was a couple weeks ago. The news cycle has started on this movie, and I think it's worth mentioning that everybody is either really over the moon for it, or really saying it's not very good.
See, and I've seen opposite. I've seen people who are kind of just middle of the road with it, where they think that it's a good movie, but it's not going to blow your socks off.
And I think the biggest piece of bullshit is how much people are saying that the movie is dangerous. I'm pretty sure that started with Aurora, Colorado, not playing the movie. And that one makes sense because they had a Joker shooting there.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I understand that. I don't think the rest of the world needs to be worried. And I think that suggesting that a movie about a psychopath is dangerous because it will glorify being a psychopath is a little silly. And I think in and of itself is dangerous because you're suggesting to people that you can imitate the movie.
To me, is just another form of censorship, and I really feel like we're heading down this road where freedom of speech is going to end up being limited. You're not just going to be able to make movies about real things because reality is too disturbing. This movie is about a man's descent into madness, and if you don't think that that's real or that's dangerous because people could copy it, I think you're totally missing the point.
I think if you're copying it, you're already on a descent into madness.
Yes, I agree.
We're living in this time when mental health is so tragically
Stigmatized.
downplayed.
And stigmatized.
Right.
Yeah.
Where there's not enough attention going towards it, and you need a movie like this to talk about something like that because this is the audience that needs to hear it.
I think it's silly to suggest that this movie would cause people to do bad things. I think that that person is already going to do things and looking for a reason to justify it. And calling the movie dangerous for being able to spark that in somebody is silly. And I agree that it's important to have media that talks about real issues because we're not talking about them in real life sometimes. So.
And humanity is notorious for needing a scapegoat. So rather than dealing with the actual problem, we'll just blame movies and video games and television and, you know, whatever the next thing is, cell phones and, fucking podcasts.
Strange times.
Yep.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
So we...
Hey.
Hi. Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Doctor.
Hello. Jeremy.
Doctor.
So.
We just got out of one of the heaviest movies I have seen in a very, very long time. I don't think my review is going to be for everybody. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying, but I am going to sit here and tell you what I honestly think about this movie. And fortunately, most of that is very positive. I think this is so incredibly solid, in my opinion, and so effective in everything that it tries to do. To me, nothing fell flat. And I think that they had a lot of balls and they went for some hard targets, and I think most of it paid off for them. The only thing I would say is that I don't know if I would have gone as far as them, but I can't knock you for that because that's what art is, and you went farther than I would, but hats off to you, in my opinion.
I really enjoyed this movie. I found myself thoroughly engrossed through pretty much the entire thing.
It's hard for me to say. It was very dark for me, and that's not to say that it went over my head in any way. It didn't, which is scary. Empathizing with someone who, ends up being a murderer and clearly a psychopath and out of their minds and not right. It's hard when you start empathizing with a character, even though I obviously understand that it's not real, but it's hard, for your cognitive dissonance to, understand why you're empathizing with somebody who is clearly mentally ill and taking that to a chaotic extreme. Then it's also understandable at times, especially, being from a healthcare background and understanding, why, to an extent, why people do the things that they do. I definitely struggled with this movie.
I think the biggest thing that people should take away from reviews of this movie is that it is not for everybody. Mm-hmm. I happen to be somebody who really likes movies that make you squirm.
And I think another thing to remember, keep in mind when you're thinking about reviews of this movie is that it is a movie. That we don't want to get caught up in this, reality of something that is false. Yes, we can relate and associate with certain things that go on, but I think it's really important for your own mental health to remember that it's not real.
Right, the Joker's a fictional character, literally made up to sell toys to children.
Yeah.
I also think that that's a beautiful artistic thing that now, so long ago, they made this thing and now it's being used to give you this very heavy message. That's the thing, this movie is so tense. To the point where I really was uncomfortable throughout, and I know everybody's expecting it to be tense, but I don't think people are expecting it to start right away.
And that's the thing, it's hard to talk about the movie and talk about specific points in the movie without really spoiling it, because out of the gate, they were doing things that weren't really showcased all that much in the trailers. The trailers definitely highlighted the artistic value of the movie, but gave very little away about what was actually going to end up happening. Yeah, it's about the Joker. Look how pretty it is. Listen to the music. See his face all, done up in Joker garb. But you don't know what's going to happen once you actually strap in and start watching.
Dark tone and, discomfort aside, this thing has so many twists and turns in it.
Yeah.
That it is so hard to even, as you're watching the movie, predict what is going to happen.
I'm sure upon second watch, you'd pick up on it a little bit more. I started thinking about certain things while we were watching it. Once I started to see where they were going with it. But I'm almost disappointed in myself for not picking up on them sooner.
Right. And when you can say that, that's when you know it's a well-developed twist.
Right.
It still got you. But it's not out of nowhere. There are elements to every single twist and turn in this movie, and even things that are not major twists, it's got a plot that changes so quickly, which is really a testament to everybody involved, because the movie really just relies on Joaquin Phoenix being the only guy carrying it.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah.
And it's so much of this movie is also Joaquin Phoenix sitting by himself in a room. And it's... Yeah, I can't even wrap my head around how effective it is.
There was definitely a lot of artistry in this movie. That's very evident. This is not a movie for everyone. This is not a blockbuster film. This is not a superhero movie. It's not even a supervillain movie. It's just a very artistic look at what you could consider to be a shell of a character.
And you take it back to, jump back to 2008, when The Dark Knight was coming out and everybody was saying, oh, wow, this is a real detective movie and there's so many layers to the characters. And the reason that did so well was because people really cared about it. One of the things that we said we were worried about when they said Joker movie, no Batman, is, wow, you took the most popular character, the biggest IP, this is cash grab written all over it, but when you get into it, it's not the Joker but it still respects all the history of the character.
And to be fair, I think it was just enough Batman.
And the sad thing is, there are people like that, and they are getting totally ignored and not getting the care and attention that they need. And I think it's a lot of balls to take something so popular and to put that kind of commentary behind it. This is not as I said at the beginning, this is not for everybody, and it may not even be for Joker fans. I'm really not sure. But to me, this is a artistic achievement, and it succeeds so much in what it's trying to do. So even if it's not for me, I gotta respect it. And it just so happens that it is my kind of movie. So I'm going to give Joker an A+. But that is my rating. And anybody who doesn't feel that way, you could tell me I hated this movie and I would totally understand that. But I love it, and I don't know if I'll ever feel the desire to watch it again. But it really had a big effect on me when I was sitting in that theater.
I'm going to give this movie an A-. Why not higher than that? I'm not really sure. That is just what I feel. The movie was very powerful. The movie was very well made. And like I said, I enjoyed it the whole way through. I don't know. It's just what I feel in my heart right now. A-.
The letter that keeps flashing in my head is a B. And the reasoning for that is I would rate it lower based on feeling. If I'm being objective here about the movie itself, then I would have to go, I am rating it higher than I think my feelings would want to rate it. Because objectively, it is a very well put together movie. So I can't fault it for that. I just struggled really heavily just because it was very dark. It hit me in hard places.
And that's fair, because I had a hard
and
time
I even
with it
think
too,
that
and...
a B is high in my head.
Right, and that goes to show there's a spectrum with this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And how much you're gonna like it, because objectively it could be the best movie in the world. If you didn't have fun and you didn't enjoy watching it, you're not gonna rate it high.
And that's like the thing is, like, it's not that I didn't enjoy watching it. I did want to see what happened. I don't think I was as excited for it as you guys were. But I did want to see what kind of story they were going to tell. I did find myself at times not being able to watch. I did find myself at times looking at the clock and seeing how long had passed. But again, I think that's just because this in general is not my kind of movie. I know I say that a lot.
I liked it.
It's time for the ride
Good
home
night,
part of the
everyone.
review.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. That's life.